Class 8, today we are going to start the revision of the poems. So the first poem which we have is that of, you can say, ant and the cricket. So ant and the cricket, they are the two different insects, okay? But they both behaved differently during the winter season. One is very hardworking, devoting, but the other one who is always enjoying his time, always passing his time in dancing and music. So what this poem, it delivers us the message, the poem delivering us the message that if we don't take care of the present time, then our future will be a difficult one, or utilize your present, okay, for your better future, okay. If you don't do the work in the present, you will not get the result. It means that you are only getting the result in future if you are, you can say, doing hard work or doing the things in present, okay. It means your present is making your future better. So in this point you have that the cricket, who is always dancing and singing during the summer season when the weather was favorable, and ultimately the ants, who are very laborious in nature, who are very hardworking in nature, they have collected the grains for the unfavorable season, winter season, when the snow has covered all the areas of the earth and there was nowhere to find food. So at that time, the ants, they were enjoying the grains and the foods in their holes, but the cricket, who is not having anything to eat, he has gone to ant in order to lend him some grains. But what has happened? Has the ant lent him? No. The ant has not lent him anything, because ant said that it is the principle that they follow the principle that the ants don't lend and ants don't borrow. Okay, that ants don't lend and ants don't borrow. So it is because of this reason what has happened, that the cricket, it suffers a lot and ultimately has faced a number of problems. So first of all, the main literary device used here in this poem is personification. What is personification? Personification means when living qualities, they are given to non-living or animal-like things, okay, or to inanimate things. Here ant and cricket, they are talking to each other in a language, okay. So it means when they are talking to each other here, they are using human-like quality, okay. So this is an example of what? This is an example of personification. What this is an example of? This is an example of personification, okay. It means that human-like quality is given to that of, you can say, ant and cricket, okay, that they are talking to each other. This story is a fable. What is a fable? Fable is a poem which contains a story and it ultimately delivers a lesson to us. Okay, what it delivers? It will deliver a lesson to us. So this poem is a fable also, right? So let us read the explanation. A silly young cricket, accustomed to sing through the warm sunny months of gay summer and spring. Silly young cricket. So very first line is depicting the character of the cricket, that he is not an intelligent one. He is silly without any intelligence. Okay. He is silly, a silly young cricket who is in the habit of only singing. He is singing throughout the day. Okay. He is singing through the warm sunny months of gay summer and spring. So when he is singing through the warm, when the weather is favorable, sunny days are there, okay, and the weather is fine, when the animals, they can come out of their holes and then enjoy the warmth of the sun. So at that time, the cricket, he used to come and enjoy in the sunny summer and spring. He began to complain when he found that at home his cupboard was empty and winter was come. But this, you can say, cricket, he has come to know the reality of situation, that actually now he is suffering from a problem. Okay, why he has complained that now he is suffering from a problem? It is because of the reason that when winter has come and he has opened up his cupboard to eat, he found nothing. Okay, what he has found? He has found nothing, that there were no grains and nothing to eat in his cupboard. And this is the reason why he felt very sad, why he felt very sorry for himself, because he did not have anything to eat. So naturally he felt perplexed, he felt confused. Now what to do? Not a crumb to be found on the snow covered ground. And he thought that I should go out and find something out, but on the ground where everything was covered with snow. All the things, they were covered with snow and there was nothing to find there. Okay, nothing, not even a single piece of bread or small piece of, you can say, grain to be found there. So he was not able to get anything outside also. Not a flower could he see, not a leaf on a tree. And there, all the trees, they were covered with snow. There were no leaves on the trees, and there were also no flowers on the trees. Why? Because in winter season, when snow covers the trees, then ultimately what is there? No flowers, they bloom on the trees. So, oh, what will become, says the cricket, of me? Now cricket, he has turned worried. He was thinking that now what will happen to me? What will happen to me in this type of weather? At last by starvation and famine. Famine means shortage of food. Okay, and starvation means again shortage of food when somebody is not eating, or if anybody is not eating anything, it is called as starvation. Okay, so at last by starvation and famine. So finally he is suffering from starvation as well as from famine. So finally he did not get anything to eat, and they were made bold. It means that he was suffering from starvation and he is suffering from famine, and ultimately he has faced a lot of problem. All dripping with wet and all trembling with cold. So now what is there? That everything is dripping with cold. Okay, that the drops of snow, they were falling onto the ground. These drops of snow, they were falling onto the ground, and every creature on the earth, it was trembling, shaking with cold. You know, na, during cold season you shiver, kaamte ho na? Okay, so every creature was trembling with cold. Away he set off to a miserly ant. So where he has gone? Finally, he has gone in a very poor condition to an ant, to see if, to keep him alive, he would grant him shelter from rain and a mouthful of grain. He thought that I have not built my house. Maybe the ant would give me some place to live in his house also. And moreover, he would also give him mouthful of grain. He would get some grains, okay, so that he can fulfill his stomach, so that he can eat something, because for many days he has not eaten anything. He wished only to borrow. It was not like that. He thought that I will not return. He only wished that he will borrow, but ultimately after that what he will do? He will return the things to him. He would repay it tomorrow, and when the favorable time will come, he will collect the grains and he will return it to the aunt. If not, he must die of starvation and sorrow. But if aunt would not give him anything, what will happen to him? He would die of starvation, he would die of hunger, he would die of shortage of grain, and ultimately because of this kind of sad situation, he will not be able to survive. So let us see what happened. Says the ant to the cricket, I'm your servant and friend. So in a very humble manner, he has gone to the ant and told, I'm your friend and servant. I'll always be your friend and servant, but I have come with a request to you, that to please lend me some grain and give me some shelter from rain, as I'm not able to live in my house. I have not built my house also, and in my house there are no grains also. So finally But we aunts never borrow, we aunts never lend. And tell me, dear cricket, did you lend nothing by when the weather was warm? Quoth the cricket. Quoth means quoted. Okay. So he said, we aunts, we never borrow anything. And we aunts, we never lend anything. Okay. What he said that we aunts, we never borrow anything. And we aunts, we also never lend anything. We never lend, we never borrow from anything. But he said, tell me one thing, that when the weather was good, when the weather was favorable, have you not saved anything for you? He asked. My heart was so light that I sang day and night. My heart was so light means I was not knowing the situation. I was not serious in my work. So throughout the warm season, when the weather was good, what he did, he said, I enjoyed day and night. What I did, I enjoyed day and night. I sang songs during day and night. For all nature looked gay. You sang, sir, you say. And all nature and everything seemed to be so happy, so enjoyable that I enjoyed during that time. Go then and dance the winter away. Now cricket aunt said, then go now. What are you? Huh? Yes? Yes. In dancing means enjoying. Enjoying. Dancing and singing means enjoying. Because singing and dancing was his hobby. He was busy in his hobby. He was not knowing that what is important for him and what he should do first. Right? So he said, now you go and dance the winter away. Now in this winter season also, you can go and dance it away. Thus ending, he hastily lifted the wicket. So by saying this, he picked up a small stick and out of the door turned the poor little cricket and pushed the little cricket out of his house. That I will not lend you anything and I will not provide you shelter in my house. So folks call this fable, I'll warrant it true. So people call this is a fable, this is a story, but ultimately some crickets have 4 legs and some have 2. But I'll warrant, but this rule of life is true for all insects also and for human beings. Some have 2 means for human beings also, that if they will not save their time, okay, then ultimately what will happen? They will suffer a lot in their lives. Okay, what will happen to them? That they will suffer a lot in their lives. So this is what happened. Okay, so any doubt in this poem? Yes. So let me ask you questions from this poem. What kind of creature ants are? Raise up your hands. Raise up your hands to give the answers. Raise up your hands, please. Kritika, Janvi, Avdhi, Japji. Yes. What kind of creature ants are? What are type of creatures you're not getting? They were hardworking. Okay. Yes, Khyati, give the answer.
Ants are very hardworking creature, but they have a different principle that they don't share anything with each other or anybody else.
Lend anything. Very good. Why the cricket was so sad during winter? Why the cricket was so sad during the winter? Who will give the answer? Yes. Yes, Japuji, give the answer. Don't mute yourself again. Yes.
The cricket was so sad during the winters because he had nothing to eat. His cupboard was empty. He had no food, you can say.
Describe the environment during winter season. What kind of environment prevails during winter season? Yes.
The ground was covered with snow, and there was no flower or leaf on a tree,
Very
and there
good.
was no crumb to be found on the ground.
Very good. No flower could be seen, no leaf is on the trees and not a grain to be found on the ground, and everywhere or everything is covered with snow, right? So why was the ant is called as miserly? Miserly. Why the ant is called as miserly ant? Because he has worked hard. Okay. Moreover, he is not believing in lending and borrowing. This is the reason. Okay. Why did the cricket go to the ant? Why did the cricket go to the ant?
The
Yes.
cricket went to the ant so that he can borrow food from them.
So that he can borrow some grain from the ants, as he has not gathered anything during summer season. How did cricket spend his summer season? How did
He
cricket?
sang day and night.
By singing and dancing. When the cricket goes to the aunt's house, what was the answer of the aunt?
The aunt said that they were his friend and servants, but the aunts never borrow and the aunts never lend.
The
This
aunts
was the
never
principle.
lent. So what is the moral of this poem?
The moral of this poem is that we should always do work and always be conscious about our future and should think about our future.
Okay.
We should be hardworking in nature.
Okay. Why this poem is called as fable? Why this poem is called as fable? Fable.
This poem is called as fable because here the animals are given human qualities.
Yes, I think today all the answers are given by Jabji, and rest of the students, they are not participating. Right? Now, afterwards, Khyati, I will ask you now. Afterwards. So the next poem that we are going is geography lesson. Okay. So the next poem that we are going to do is geography lesson. Yes, Khyati, you want to say something now?
No, ma'am.
So the next poem is geography lesson. So geography lesson, the poem is about the boundaries, the territories which one can see. The human beings, they are able to build these boundaries. They have demarcated their territories. They have separated their countries from the neighboring countries. They are not allowing the people of the other, you can say, countries, territories to enter into their land. But ultimately, what is the function of all this? Nothing. But they are not able to separate the lands. They are not able to separate the oceans from above, high above the sky. When the poet is flying in his plane, he has looked down. What he has seen from above, there is no separation. Everything is clear. Okay, but there is no separation of boundaries. There is no separation of territories. Now the poet is saying, I don't know that why human beings, they have created those boundaries. From above, it is not clear that why the walls are being built across the cities. No wall is seen. It means that this try of human beings to separate themselves from others is useless. It is of no use, of course. Okay, as because of these boundaries, people are trying to separate themselves, demarcate themselves, creating differences. But these differences are of no use actually. Why these differences are of no use actually? It is because of the reason that people will not get anything. The people will not get anything out of these kind of differences. Ultimately, this earth is one and we have to maintain it as one entity. Okay, so this is the main thing which is going to be delivered by the poem, the geography lesson. So here is the poem. When the jet sprang into the sky, it was clear why the city land had developed the way it had. So what the poet is saying, when his jet, it has gone into the sky. He said, it is clear from the sky that how the city had developed. Okay. Seeing it scaled 6 inches to the mile. And when it has gone to a height of 6 inches, he has come to know that those 6 inches, scaled 6 inches to the mile, those miles, they were seen as only 6 inches, very short distances. There seemed an inevitability, okay, about what on ground had looked haphazard. Inevitability means this is not, you can say, clear at that moment, that what is on ground, everything is so organized, everything is placed in an orderly manner. But from the sky, what is there? Everything looked haphazard. That on the earth, human beings has tried everything to keep in an ordered manner. But there upwards, what is there? Everything is looking haphazard. Unplanned and without any style. Everything is looking haphazard and without any particular arrangement. When the jet sprang into the sky. So what happens when it happens? When the jet sprang into the sky. It happens only when the jet has gone high up in the sky. When the jet reached 10,000 feet, it was clear that why the country had cities where the rivers ran and why the valleys were populated. So now the poet is saying, when the jet has gone to a height of 10,000 miles, when the jet has gone to a height of 10,000 feet, then what it is there? It is clear. What it is clear? That why the country had cities. That why in the countries there are cities, different cities near the rivers, because there are various sources of water available. Okay. There are various sources of water available for the human beings to utilize these resources of water. So he has come to know also that why the valleys are thickly populated, that why the valleys, they are most of the human beings, they live in the valleys. The logic of geography that land and water attracted man was clearly delineated. Delineated means outline. Now this logic of geography that land and water, that human beings, they used to live there where there is land as well as water, this often attracted number of people. Okay, this is the reason why number of people, they are living near water resources. Okay, and this idea that why most of the cities, they are developed on the banks of the rivers is very much clear from the height of 10,000 miles. And when the jet reached 10,000 feet. Now, when the jet rose 6 miles high, but now when the height has gone further, it was clear Earth was round. Then the Earth, there was no difference in the Earth. Everything seems to be round, and that it had more sea than land. Then this is also clear that the Earth is mostly covered with water, not with land. Only 1/3 of Earth is there, and you can say 3 parts is of water. Most of the land is covered with water. So, but it was difficult to understand that the men on the earth found causes to hate each other, to build walls across cities, and to kill. From that height, it was not clear, but the poet is saying, but from that height, this thing is not at all clear, that why human beings have found reasons to hate each other, why they started hating each other. From that height, it was not clear, and it was not clear that why the people, they are making different kind of boundaries. This was also not clear, why the people, they are making different kind of territories, why they are separating their countries from others. Because from the high above in the sky, when he was going through his plane, he has never found any differentiation on earth. For him, everything was same. God has created same. The same nature prevails. But why human beings, they started fighting with each other? Why they are differentiating themselves from each other? This is not at all clear to the poet when he has gone to such a height. So it means that the poet is highlighting the important thing here, that human beings, they are trying their, you can say, useless ways to separate themselves. They are trying to create differences. But what is the use? Why they hate each other? Because everything is same. We have separated our countries from others, but actually there is no use of separation of these countries as well as these kind of rivers. Okay, we are one and we will remain one. Okay, so this is the poem, the geography lesson. So let me ask you some of the questions. What type of comparison is made by the poet about distances in the poem? What type of comparison is made by the poet about distances in the poem? Who will tell me? What type of comparison? Because from the height 6 miles is just looking like that. 1 mile is just looking like that of 6 inches. Okay, what is clear from the height? That why most of the cities, they are situated near water sources. Okay, and what is not clear to the poet? That why people, they
Why man has created
build territories and why they hate each other. This is not at all clear from the height. Okay, so this is all about the poem, the geography lesson. In the next lecture, we will do Bipin Babu and one more poem that is left. Okay, so this is all for today. If you have any doubt now, you can ask me. I'm going to take the doubts.